Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Lurrus poison deck for standard best of one. So with the release of Kaldheim, we got one poison payoff in the form of Finn the Fangbearer, and this card is basically a 2-mana 1/3 Death Touch, and it reads, whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. And this is important because a player with 10 or more of these counters loses the game. So basically what we have to do is we have to get Finn down and connect to our opponent's face with 5 Death Touch creatures. And because of this, we want to run a lot of cheap Death Touch creatures, which also incentivizes us to play Lurrus as the companion. Any deck that can be a Lurrus deck, basically, I think should be, and I don't think we're punished at all for this. I think running cards like the 3-mana 1/4 Death Touch Snake and Questing Beast kind of defeat the purpose. I think like the whole point of poison is to slowly chip away at our opponent and not like get their life total down in a traditional sense, but literally just apply 5 poisons. So I really like that Finn helps us do that, or 10 poisons as in 5 connections. So Lurrus also really helps with card advantage. Running a deck of a lot of cheap 1 and 2 mana Death Touch creatures means we can run out of gas really quickly, but Lurrus is super useful for making sure that we always have a constant flow of threats, as well as being able to recur Finn, because without Finn we don't have any Death Touch, or we have Death Touch but we don't have any poison, right? Other forms of card advantage and recurring creatures, we have our Shovel. Shovel puts bounty counters on your opponent's creatures, and once you kill them you get 3 life and get cards. So if your opponent is forced to block your Death Touch creatures, while you have Shovel, at least that nets you cards and life, so you're not completely out of it. Other cards that reanimate and help us get card advantage are Call of the Death Dweller and Aghanim's Awakening. Aghanim's Awakening doubles as a land, which is pretty useful. It means you can run a lower land count. It also, Aghanim's for 3 is the most we're ever getting, but it can get a Finn, a 1/1 Death Touch, and Lurrus at best. Same thing for Call can get our Lurrus back. It can get a Finn and another Death Touch creature. We can apply double Death Touch, which if you saw my last video is pretty hilarious. But yeah, all these cards are really useful to make sure we don't lose our main source of poison, and to make sure we can be constantly spamming the board with cheap Death Touch creatures. So the rest of the list is just cheap 1/1 Death Touchers to help us get there. Falmire Knight is nice because it has the adventure in case we need to draw a card. It can just be a 1-mana Death Touch creature, but the fact that it has this ability is a nice little bonus. We have Mire Triton to help us fill the yard. If we have like reanimation spells, then we can get there with the Triton, as well as gaining some life can be useful in certain scenarios. Wardbire Blessing is a fight spell. We only need to inflict 1 damage with all our creatures in order to take something down, and giving it a nice booty helps. Also, the fact that we're a Lurrus deck means that we can get the blessing out of the yard and fight something. That's pretty nice, clears the way for our Death Touch creatures. Some Bloodchief's Thirsts, cheap removal, just clear the way for, against aggressive things. If they're attacking, because we also kind of want to be attacking, but we're good in creature matchups. Death Touch really holds a lot of things back. But yeah, this can clear a path or take out pesky planeswalkers if we kick it. Village Rites against control decks gives us some form of card recursion, as well as let's say you need a 1-mana creature in the yard for a Call of the Death Dweller, right? Like you want to get the max value. You can always Village Rites your own creature to draw 2 and make sure you get the complete CMC off the call. Mana base, we have Forests and Swamps, just Pathway, Fabled Passage. We don't need Temple in this deck. The mana is pretty good. It shows that we're skewed towards black because of the Aghanim's Awakening, but really we should be fine. 2 castles, again, for the reason that we might be running out of gas, and the fact that we don't have that many swamps because we're running all these awakenings as black sources means that these might enter tapped some of the time, but we technically have 8 swamps of the Fabled Passage, so we should be okay. So that's the list, guys. It will be in the description down below as always. If you guys are enjoying the videos and like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it, and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. And that's it for me, everybody. Let's get into some games. Alright, on the draw, but we have a 1-mana Death Toucher, Finn, fight spell, removal. So, this is pretty much all we can ask for. Let's get the Moss Viper down. It might just get shocked or frostbitten. Yeah, there you go. That means that they can deal with Finn once they get 3 of these snow mountains, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Robber will come in. Bonk me for 2, that's fine. We'll play out Finn. It blocks the robber. And we'll see what the opponent has. There's an Annex, which we can hilariously fight with the Warbrier's Blessing. Okay, so we'll put this on black for now. Actually, no, we want to put it on green for now. So we can go put this on the Finn, fight the Annex. Yep. I could have elected to play the Thirst on the Robber, but I think we just hold and play out the Viper. Finn is holding back this creature anyways. Now, do we attack? Would they trade? They might be tempted to. I think we just hold back and chill. Against Monored, it's going to be difficult for them to get through the Finn. Fervent Champion? Sure. And they pass. Okay. So we can get Darkboard Pathway down. We can get Shovel Ticking if we want. It's a bit awkward that they have the Fervent Champion because it blocks out my Moss Viper. I think we start by attacking with Finn. I can Bloodchief's Thirst pre-combat, but if they're chumping, I think we're still pretty happy. So we'll start here. Yep, chump block there, unless they have a Frostbite, in which case that's fine. We'll play out the Shovel. And I don't think we need a Bloodchief's Thirst the Fervent Champion. Actually, they might cleave us. So to prevent a cleave, I'm just going to take this out. Alright. And 3 hits and they lose the game. Or sorry, 5 hits, but we have 3 lined up for next turn. They can't block. There's a Goldspan Dragon. So that can't be too bad for them. Although, okay, and they play a Fervent Champion, which we are going to put the counter on with Shovel. Drawing a lot of Finns, that's pretty jokes. But yeah, we're going to attack here and here. 2 poison counters. Sorry. 4 poison counters. We can buy Lurrus and pass. And the opponent passes right back. So let's go. Attack and attack. Like I said, these counters add up quickly. Okay, savvy opponent. Now we can take out the dragon or the Fervent Champion. I think we just take out the dragon. We can take out the Fervent Champion whenever. Oh, it has first strike. Pardon me, guys. Oh, no, but we went blockers first. Weird interaction. Okay. So we can go Lurrus into Fight Spell. I think that's fine because we were holding so many Finns. So we can go Lurrus into Warbriar Blessing. Give it a big booty, gain some life. Give me another card. And that's it for the opponent, guys. Like I said, this deck goes pretty hard against Monored, and while they're still at a super high life total, this is what I'm talking about, where we just have to connect like 5 total times, which is why I keep saying we only need 5 poison counters. But yeah, 1 attack generates 2. I might just mess that up throughout the video, just bear with me. But yeah, good against creatures. On to the next one. Alright guys, on the draw again, hand is good. As long as we have Finn, I'm pretty sure we're happy keeping. Right, we can go 1-drop Death Toucher into Finn. And we have plenty of means of reanimation, so shouldn't be too worried about trading him. Against Jeskai. And either the opponent has stops, or like this is a awkward Stone Coil Serpent. Shout out to Wizards for printing the rest of the pathways, making all types of decks so much more playable. I was playing Rakdos yesterday, and you feel the difference. like the fact that the we have the pathways. This is that fucking Tibalt Trickery cheese, which is why our opponent mulligans so hard. Alright. I'm keeping it in the video this time. I face this too often to keep cutting it. Alright, and the opponent's gonna do nothing. We're gonna play Finn. They're gonna counter their own spell, whiff with the Trickery, and we're gonna just start stacking poison counters. Yup. I mean, there's only so much we can do, right, guys? I'm not even sure what else is in this build. Yep, and we gotta connect twice more. I mean, I can play the Triton or the Shovel. I guess we play the Shovel in case they play a creature. They seem to be running, like, Baneslayer and Ugin and stuff. And Kogla. Can hold my reanimation spells. I'm not exactly that worried about getting some mana. And they cycle Triome. Okay. But I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if you guys have been facing this stuff, because this is like the 5th time I faced someone trying to cheese me out with Tibalt's Trickery, and it hasn't happened yet. See what I mean, guys? Like, I have no idea. I guess Poison also bodes pretty well against that, because we just have to hit them 5 times instead of getting their entire life total down. So if you're facing Tibalt's Trickery, I mean, anything could probably beat it if we're being quite honest with ourselves. But yeah, Death Touch. Let's go. Okay, hand is a little bit weird, but I think it's good enough to keep. Castle being tapped is awkward. On the draw again, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We'll play out the Moss Viper. I don't think it really matters. It's literally the same card with different name and different art. So, mono white. Well, we have Finn. And we have a lot of Death Touchers, so we should be okay. Yeah, no blocks. I'll take 1 point. That is no biggie. At least these are black sources. So I can play Finn. We're definitely doing that pre-combat. And we'll try to trade. I'll take a trade on Selfless Savior, or I'll take a poison counter for free. That's fine. I'm not too worried. I can recur 1/1 Death Touchers pretty much forever with this deck. Yep. And another Selfless Savior. Okay. All these white dorky creatures that give protection are kind of annoying, but they're fine for the most part. Alright, so we'll pay 3. Get a black source online. I can actually attack with the Finn and see what the opponent wants to do. I don't hate that play. And then if they want to block with a giant killer and something else, I can reanimate it with Call of the Death Dweller. I like it. And if not, they take a poison counter. Yep, poison counter to the face. Go for a Bloodseep's Thirst on the Aspirant. They're going to sack the Selfless Savior, but that's fine. We have to get it off the board somehow. Yep, and we're going to play out another Death Toucher. And we're not looking too bad, guys. I can take any trade with the Blightblade and then reanimate both of my 1/1 Death Touchers with the Call, giving one of them Menace, which is pretty jokes. Alright, play another Giant Killer out. I mean, the counters don't particularly matter unless you're trying to push through damage. Swamp, cool, so our Locthwain enters untapped. I think I'd just be aggressive because I have so much reanimation. So they can go for a tap, but I still attack. Yeah, they tap the Blightblade, go for the Finn. And they can double block. What's more of a pain? all the tapping or all the counters. I think we get the Aspirant down just for now. No, let's get the Giant Killer out because of the potential tapping. Big creatures don't particularly matter against me. Or against this deck. Now we can call. Yep, I guess we'll suit up this, and we'll give Menace to... I mean, I don't think it really matters. I guess we'll give it to the Viper, and we'll play out Swamp and pass. I want to hold the Awakening because it's another reanimation spell. Give Menace to the Viper because it's more likely to attack, whereas holding back Finn, it has 3 toughness, so we're more likely to actually use it that way. Alright, opponent might get aggressive here, try to get me killed, and they don't. Interesting. Okay. So how do we want to play it? I can attack with all. The opponent will be put up another 2 poison counters, and I can reanimate everything again, or not everything, but a 1 and a 2 drop. I think that's fine. Let's go. Without all this reanimation, we would not be making these plays. That's fine. All right, so we trade for the poison counter. Let's thin the deck with the passage. Grab triple black for the Awakening. And go Finn and Blightblade. Auto pay. And the squad is back. So First Strike is annoying, but it is a mechanic that we can get around, especially with, I'd say, all the reanimation, but we are running low. Heliod, 3 mana do nothing right now, it's fine. Village Rites and Lurrus, okay. So play out the Locthwain. I can just poke in with the Viper. Has Menace, I think that's a-okay. Then we can buy and play Lurrus, or we can Village Rite something to draw more cards. I think we just poke with the Viper. We could get another Death Touch counter on something, but... Hold on. What's in my yard? Technically nothing, but we're just going to poke in with the Viper for now. Another poison counter on the opponent. Buy Lurrus. Now, do I play Lurrus or do I hold up Village Rites? Lurrus plus no value kind of sucks, but it's something they have to respect along with the Finn. So if they have like a Skyclave Apparition, it's probably going to go on the Finn because Lurrus isn't what's going to win me the game. It's going to be the Finn, but it can draw some fire, if that makes sense. As well as, even if we don't put anything in the yard through combat, we can sack to Village Rites, and we get there. Nice. Okay. So let's think about this for a second. Let's say they did play 2 Devotion to white, get back 2 creatures. They would need to double block the Viper. We can attack with 3. We're at least getting 1 poke in with poison. Then they're probably going to take out the Finn. It trades for something because, well, it's Finn. It has Death Touch. This probably trades for something as well, unless it's like the Aspirant. And then we can reanimate the Finn and draw more cards later, and we just have to poke in with the Moss Viper 1 more time. So yeah, we're on track to win this game. Feels good, guys. Alright, on the draw. Kind of an awkward hand. Locthwain makes it a bit weird, but we can go turn 1 Viper, turn 2 Viper, turn 3 Finn, and remove a thing. So I think it's fine. On the draw, again. Unfortunate. So I think we do that. We could have played this tapped also to have Bloodchief's Thirst open, but I don't think it's necessary. Against Winota, it's fine. Oh, this is mono green. Okay. So they have really big creatures and a bunch of fight effects. So our Death Touchers should be doing pretty nicely against that. Tapped Locthwain is sad. And we'll pass. Alright, they're going to put 3 counters on one thing, so they're probably going to suit up the goose, because it has flying. They can suit up their token, but I just trade with it. Yep. I haven't seen the Ironian game since Theros. In Search of Greatness. Okay. So mono green In Search of Greatness is something I've been wanting to try. Another castle. I told you guys this would get awkward. Alright, so if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw 2 cards. And they do, so we're going to Bloodchief's Thirst. Actually, we can force through 2 poison counters. So, okay, here are our options. We're playing this tapped regardless. If we had an untapped line there, we're actually laughing, but whatever, Locthwain. So what we can do is we can Bloodchief's Thirst the 4/4, so they don't get the card draw next turn, and then play out another 1/1 and then play Finn the following turn. Or we can play Finn and just attack and maybe get 4 poisons on the opponent. I don't want to attack first. Alright, I think we're just taking this out, preventing the card draw. And I mean, we'll attack. It doesn't really matter. I'll play out another Death Touch. And In Search of Greatness is gonna go off. So free Nylia probably feels good. Alright, how much devotion does this need to animate? Is less than 5, it isn't a creature. Well, there's plenty of devotion there. Okay. So this actually isn't too bad. We'll start off with Finn, as we should. And we want to get the opponent off some devotion. So we're going to play Slitherbore Pathway and fight the troll. Okay, when it dies, it enchants the land, but that means that this loses some devotion. So I think it's all fine and good. So we're going to Warbriar's Blessing up the Finn, fight the troll. Boom, troll down. Enchant your forest. Oh, so the devotion counts. Okay, that's kind of sad. Not ideal. But let's try to get some poison counters up. They're going to easily block with Nylia, and they just throw away a goose. Okay. So, 2 poisons online. In Search of Greatness. Free Battle Mammoth. Nice. And gold token. Alright, so now my goal is to see if I can get them off their devotion. Questing Beast. Okay. And they just attack with the beast. Sure. So many Finns, guys. Why do I find the Finns when I don't need them? Okay. All attacks. They blow up their forest for a 4/4. Tapped. Trade the Questing Beast. Oh, they're trading their board. Okay. Alright. Weird decision. So, to play Finn or to buy Lurrus? Awkward. Because I want to be able to get more Death Touches on the board. I think I just buy Lurrus in this spot. Nylia isn't alive. And they're running out of permanents in their hand. Yeah, okay, perfect. Finn being legendary is kind of awkward here too. Alright, they make a lot of mana and probably just search with Nylia. It's open-ended, so can they do it? To activate abilities of creatures. Is this technically an enchantment right now? So did they just make 6 mana for... Oh, no, they hit Z. Alright, if they passed phase, they would have just thrown away 6 mana. Okay, so the reason that doesn't work is because Nylia is technically an enchantment right now. But they can still activate it once. Alright, they whiff. Cool. So I can go Finn plus Warbriar Blessing, or Lurrus reanimate a 1/1 Death Touch. I like this play. yeah. It gives us more of a board presence, and it forces them to answer one of these. And then we can save the Fin plus Blessing for next turn. Or we can even fight with the Lurrus to gain some life. Alright, they reveal a Shadow Spear, which, I mean, gaining life isn't going to do it for you, and it's not even a creature, so they can't put it in their hand. So in search, not looking great. Happy I didn't let them draw with the gold with the Aronian Games. Okay, Toski. That's annoying. That's indestructible. But it has to attack, and we can pretty much block it forever. Alright, so where do we want to start? We definitely don't want to be... we definitely don't want to be playing Fin from the graveyard because we have 2 in hand. And we know we're going to be playing a Fin anyway, so that's 2 mana there. And then 2 mana for a Blessing, leaving us 1 mana for the card in the yard. So we probably just reanimate a Death Touch creature. So how do I want to do this? Tulsi's awkward because it has Indestructible. We're going to put this on black so we can eventually draw with the castles. And we're going to... Ooh, okay, I think I should have played that on green if I want to do everything I want to do this turn. So, might have messed that up a bit, but we do eventually need the black source anyways, so we just get a little bit less value this turn. And let's Warbriar Blessing. Lurrus will go to 4, so we don't want to do that. We're going to Warbriar Blessing the Fin, and Fin will fight the Troll, taking it out. And now I can attack for 3 life, but the Tulski's going to have to attack anyways. So, no attacks. Alright, if I'd put this on green, I'd have another Death Touch creature, which might end up mattering, but drawing with the castle also might end up mattering, so... Interesting scenario. Alright, so they make all the Garenbrig mana. Battle Mammoth. Alright. And Nylea's turned on. They attack with Tulsi. We'll gain 3 life. Okay. Yeah, very Sedge. I know. Hold on. Let me just give him the sad. Yes, very sad. I can Blessing and fight the Battle Mammoth. Hold on, let me just read this. Whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability your opponent controls, you may draw a card. Alright, so we're going to play the Blessing. Put it on the Fin. We'll fight the Battle Mammoth. They're going to draw a card, which is sad, but it's okay. It turns off their Devotion for Nylea. And we're going to attack with these 2. Get the poison counters up. And we're going to play a Death Toucher from the yard. And that'll be it for us. No attacks with the Lurrus because I want it to absorb the Toski. Alright, Scry's to the top. And we have to connect with 2 more Death Touchers to win this game. We have a Warbriar Blessing to help us get through, and a huge Booty Fin to make sure we get there. Blizzard Brawl. That's too funny. Okay. Fights my Lurrus. So that's the removal. Do I take this block? I think I do. I don't want them to draw another card. They only have 1 more. And if they don't have another creature, then we just attack for quote-unquote lethal. Alright, and they reveal a Goose. Alright, they're going to play it. And if they don't have another one, they're technically dead because of our last Warbriar Blessing. So we can go for it. Yep, Warbriar Blessing looking real good. So hit our opponent with the GGs. Not toxic at all. I actually think this is a really good game. And we take out Mono Green in search of greatness with our Poison Cheese. Feels great, guys. We get there. Alright, guys, and we are back. So I do think that this is the actual best version of Poison that you can play. The Lurrus gives us a steady and consistent, as in we know we're going to have it, form of card recursion, and that's really important when you're throwing a lot of death touchers at your opponent, because you know that some of them are going to connect, and putting poison on them. And the main issue that I had with this deck is not drawing Finn. Every single game, and I shit you not, every single game I drew Finn, I won. Every single game I didn't draw Finn, I lost, because the deck quite literally does nothing without Finn. Even a game where I had like a bunch of shovels and drew a lot of cards, like I went like 30, I had 35 cards left in my deck, so I had 25 cards, I had drawn 25 cards total and didn't find Finn. I still ended up losing because we just don't, like, our 1/1 death touchers don't do anything. We just sit there and try to take out our opponent's creatures in the hopes of finding a Finn. But if we can actually have that Finn early on in the game, then we can play around it and hopefully get there. So I'd hard mulligan for Finn. I probably wouldn't go below 6, but if you really need to, like if your hand on 6 is abysmal, then yeah, honestly just look for Finn. So that's the list, guys. Mana was workable, maybe could have locked away and put in another swamp, but that's it for me. If you guys like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. Again, it will be in the description down below as always, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out.